Hello Sagittarius, it's Marina from the Butterfly Effect. This is going to be your reading for July 2020. Okay, so I've got two cards here. I don't know specifically, I've got two women here. I've got a Queen of Wands and I've got a Queen of Cups. This could be your combined energy. The Queen of Wands is in week 1, the Queen of Cups is in week 4. I sort of get the overall impression from this: heed wise counsel and listen, and the unexpected, a change you did not see coming. Now, the heed wise counsel card is often about the fact that you're very clear on where you stand, but you're being told that you need to open your mind and listen to another's point of view, someone who may be wiser, more knowledgeable. It can often be professional advice. It doesn't have to be, but it can be. There's information that you don't have. You don't know all the story. Sagittarius is the bottom line here, and yet you are very clear that you do, and you've made your decision. And here we come with the twist in the tail. So there's something, a change that you just don't see this coming, because you're really clear. You're coming through as a fixed sign almost. There's a situation or a person that you're made a decision on, and you're clean cut with it, and now there's like new information coming in and you don't see it coming, and I actually think it's going to rattle you enormously. Because your overall energy for the month of July is the Tower and the 9 of Cups. Now, my first impression of this, I have to say, was that you need to be really careful of any sort of overindulgence here, or you may indeed find out that someone you're being dealing with has, let's just say, excessive tendencies that can ultimately bring about some sort of ruin with the Tower. It is major, but it can be like quite destructive. It's like someone going out on an absolute bender, and whatever goes down, like, you know, unravels their life. I mean, it doesn't have to be that. I mean, it can be like a really positive breakthrough, but actually taking it into, like, excuse all the hairs, seriously, it's my cat, he's poorly, he's so poorly. You should see his wee face, it just doesn't even look like himself. So I don't know if there's someone who's looking to try and build bridges with you, Sagittarius, and you're just like, you've completely switched off to this person. Because the snake card can be, it can be like the ex, it can be betrayal, or it can be like a jealous ex, and there's some sort of invitation here that is incredibly unsettling for you. I feel it's like an invitation to a party or an event, and it's so troubling, because it's almost like bringing back a lot of stuff from the past. I not just kind of said that, maybe, sort of. The snake is an absolute issue. I mean, it's not saying like, well, I mean, the bouquet can be an invitation. It's not like, there's not like a lot of news cards here, or new information or revelations or anything like that. It's almost just like there's an invitation, and it just really rattles you. And if it's not that, then it's a case that someone with the 9 of Cups, oh gosh, I don't know. I've got the Journey with upright with Archangel Gabriel in reverse here. This is always almost like someone's moved on without telling you, or you have. So it's got a sort of ghosting feel about it. And this is what is on your mind in the month of July. Either this is something you're thinking of doing, or someone you're interacting with is thinking of leaving, but not saying. And that could bring about, and if it were to be that way, whoever is engaging in that kind of activity is coming from a place of greed, or the 9 of Cups. That's just me. I don't like the Nine of Cups and Rider Waite. I mean, I know it is a wish fulfillment, you know, technically. Very rarely see it that way. I always think he's dodgy. You know, behind his little blue curtain there. To me, he's like the Wizard of Oz, and he's just a little bald man, you know, turning a crank. It's just all smoke and mirrors. It seems like a major month. And as I say, Sagittarius, overall feeling is that you are very set in your mind as to how something has played out or indeed will play out. And you're being very specifically told that you need to open up your mind a little bit here, because there is counsel coming your way, whether professional or otherwise, that is something you have not factored into your decision making. It is like brand new information that may literally blow your fucking mind, and it might be in a good way. Okay? It might be in a good way. Where there's been a lot of like stagnation, the base of the deck is the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. You could have been dealing with an earth sign. It could be a work situation. Everything's been a bit sluggish. There's been no action. And that may have created some sort of hostilities, which is now in reverse, and even like a broken relationship. That seems to be dissipating most certainly come the 4th week in July. But I think this is a struggle for you to get here, Sagittarius. So you're coming through as my Queen of Wands. This could be you. Obviously, it's a general reading. Can be vice versa. It might just be someone you're dealing with. Could be your auntie or your sister. But this is someone who is who's not taking any action in the situation. This is someone who doesn't actually almost doesn't trust the person that they're dealing with, or maybe doesn't quite trust themselves in a situation. With the squirrel spirit being in reverse here, there is a feeling of possibly lack mentality here with the squirrel. The squirrel sort of, he obviously likes to collect all his wee nuts because he's expecting, you know, pudding claws. I know. Oh my gosh. So they're just watching and waiting, not really making any moves. This is just kind of going with the flow, not really taking any action, just seeing, you know, where the current chooses, oh my gosh, chooses to take you. I mean, the seahorse to me is a really abundant energy. It's incredibly fluid, but at the same time, with the squirrel being in reverse, there's almost a feeling here with the, and I've got the Angel of Balance as well. As much as you're coming across, or indeed you may be, the Angel of Balance, and the Angel of Balance is about, and the seahorses as well. This is about integrating, you know, your masculine and your feminine elements, basically. The seahorse is too. And it's about being really centered, and you know, honoring your own choices in life. It's about achieving real balance and emotional equanimity, remaining really conscious, balancing your goals. I mean, it's incredibly fluid, and yet there's an underlying feeling here of not quite having some sort of belief in yourself. It's almost like in some areas of your life you've got it sussed, you know. You might be like brilliant in the business environment, yeah. You might be the boss. Socially you might be fantastic, but then when it comes to relationships, there's a few blockages here, and you don't kind of like take the lead, and you don't really let on in a situation. I mean, that can be completely flipped, you know. We're not, most of us, all-rounded fabulous in all areas of our lives, you know. But there's some stuff we're better at than others. I've got a man here who is blocked. He's got the mountain, and you are looking the opposite direction from this man, the Sagittarius I'm reading for. So you're just looking at your month unfolding, being like really calm, watching and waiting. Maybe, I mean, if it's not like a lack of belief in oneself, it can be that you're just like saving. You're just like squirreling away stuff for the future because you think things might be, you know, a bit bad. You might be thinking we're going to get like, you know, a massive second wave and you're filling up the freezer and, you know, I don't know, building a turret, whatever. But this man is blocked from your view. You're not looking in his direction and he can't see you because you've got this massive mountain that you've either put there or it's imagined. And that is in the first week of July. So there's nothing doing, basically. There's nothing doing. The overall activity is most certainly there, but there's nothing doing in the first week. The second week, we've got the Death card in reverse. Now, this can be someone coming back from your past. This can be that you're not able to move on from something, or whoever you're dealing with hasn't been able to move on from something. Again, it can be business or personal. It can be that you're just feeling really stuck, stagnant. There can be some, and it might even be a feeling of hope destroyed. The Death card in reverse can be hope destroyed, because it's all about, you know, something ending and like being transformational. And the Tower is big. There's two major arcana here. We do have the Sun at the end there, so bear with me. But this has come up with a strategy. So this is a plan. This is, you know, it can be like a contract of some sort that's, for whatever reason, kind of coming back around. I just get the feeling here with this that there's an invitation to something, possibly, and it instantly creates massive anxiety for you, because you're coming through as the woman, the garden, and the clouds. And again, I'm going to say, I think you are very clear on your plan, on your path, you know, who's in, who's out. And then there's new information that you're going to have to listen to that changes everything. And now you're completely gone from like watching and waiting and be chill to like, fuck. You don't know what to do now, because this is really worrying you. And it can be an event. I mean, it doesn't need to be specific. This could be like society at large. You could be thinking that, you know, the world's unraveling, humanity, and you're looking for, you're making up your own plan. As I say, you're building your turret here, so you know, you might be thinking of like an underground shelter as well. Get your wee shovel out. Because it might be like, you might be viewing a lot of destruction, personally or, you know, globally. But there is something here really worrying you in the second week. And it's either something to do with society or it's a specific event. You may be like having some sort of anxiety about, you know, maybe it's like public speaking. With this in reverse, because you're struggling with that. This is self-expression. So you might be actually, you know, for business, having to give some sort of talk or lecture that you're traveling towards, and your throat chakra is just locking up the closer you get into the venue. You're writing all your wee notes, got your plan, but you're literally thinking of doing a U-turn and going back home because it's going to blow your cool cover. And then the third week we've got the Six of Swords in reverse, so we're doing a U-turn here. And now we've got action in reverse, and I honestly feel like somebody's like completely gone into deer in headlight mode. I can't go, I can't do it, I can't say what I need to say, it's too much, I can't do it. And obviously these weeks are not like, you know, set in stone. It can be fluid. It's just giving you an overall feel for the month. But you're not at peace in this situation. Whereas you're really cool in the first week because you're dead clear and you know the score. And then this new information comes in and you know you need to listen to it. And it's suddenly opening little windows in your mind. And that's suddenly like changing your perspective. And I'm not liking that, because that means like, you know, my life would have to change. I'd have to go and do this. And I don't like that. But this is telling you, Sagittarius, it's time to boss up in a situation. I mean, this could be a work situation, absolutely, with the bear here. This can be like the boss, the CEO, a really, you know, it can be like a really dominant figure, but it's also telling you that you might need to take the lead in a situation. This is something you might have to do, Sagittarius, even though it gives you no pleasure. Quite the opposite. It might worry you sick. And as I say, you're sort of driving along and you're like pulling over to the side. No, I'm going back. Then you go 5 miles that way. I know I've got to do it, and you go that way. It is telling you that it's time to do whatever it is you need to do. And you are going to feel a hell of a lot better for it, because in the fourth week you've got to reclaim your power. And it doesn't mean that you've given up your power to someone else. It means that there's a fear that you have that is preventing you from, you know, fulfilling certain, what's the word? Potentials. You know that you're capable of. You have got something to offer. But it's just your fear of maybe change and exposure and speaking that's preventing you. But in the fourth week, there's a real breakthrough here with the Panther Spirit. I mean, this week is incredible. Firstly, you've got the Queen of Cups and the Sun. So this is, it can be material achievement, it's all-round happiness with the Sun. It's the best card in the deck. It's enlightenment with the Queen of Cups. So if you're the same energy, you've either moved from the Queen of Wands and now you're embodying the attributes of the Queen of Cups, which is like, you know, coming more from a heart space. Queen of Cups is like really sassy. She's, you know, she's sexy, she's mystical, she's alluring, whereas the Queen of Cups is like, she's way softer. She's just way softer. And so it might be like, just by able to do this, whatever that may be for you, it is going to allow you to show us maybe a softer side of your nature. It can be that something's coming in the love front, but it seems like a real mixed bag, and it's all good. We've got the door to value here, so there's finances involved here. This is all sorts of accolades pouring in your direction. You know, you may be acknowledged for whatever it is you managed to achieve here, because it's not been easy for you, Sagittarius. It can obviously be a financial windfall. It's just, it just feels like a real breakthrough. And that's 444. Gosh. And the Pig Spirit, use your mind wisely. So this is about being you know, really articulate, really quick-witted, you know, putting it all together. So it's not just being like emotionally balanced. It's also about being really rational and tidy-minded. And that is the solution. The key is the solution. It's probably my favourite card in this deck. This is like a sure thing. Now the cross can mean that it's a bit heavy. It can mean there's a bit of sorrow, but in all honesty, with this combination and everything else, I'm actually guessing that there might be like a spiritual enlightenment here, but it can also suggest faith, and even like this was part of your karmic path that is almost, or indeed maybe even completed. You're like burning off anything here by actually following through and doing the very thing that you want to not do. You want to keep going back, and sat here just watching, just waiting, not taking any action, not being really sure, just trying to keep your emotions level. And then there is some sort of event here, some sort of new information that you know you can't ignore, and then when you do it, you're gonna feel fantastic, basically. So let's take you some advice, Sagittarius, for July 2020. Advice for Sagittarius, July 2020. Didn't get any songs, did I? Yeah, ignite your passions. Oh my gosh, this is good. And a great teacher. So to learn from spiritual experience. So that I really do feel it's some sort of like, you know, speech that you have to give almost. It might be, you know, a presentation. It doesn't need to be like, you know, a big forum. It could literally be to one person that you need to have this conversation with. There's an imparting of information here. And is, you know, public speaking is a nightmare for me as well. But every now and then, when you get in the flow, and if it's a subject you're like really passionate about, then you know that your mind isn't going to freeze. I just get a feeling that when you're, you know, you're like being almost like feeling sick getting up there, but a couple of minutes in you get a couple of laughs and you know, you make your first mistake, but it's okay because you didn't completely like pee your pants. After that, it feels like it just goes really well. It just goes really well, and it's just like completely natural. And then when it's over, you don't want it to be over. So just try and bear that in mind. So here we go. This is an awesome card. Connect with your desires. The sparks could lead to something beautiful. The fire guardian represents the angels of fire. Fire is an energy that many people are afraid of but shouldn't be. Burning desires can lead to great expansion, so allow the fire guardian to help you awaken a wilder side of yourself and burn away any fear or shame that stands between you and your desires. That's exactly what that is. That's what the cross card is. Can also be like, you know, I know this isn't like technically Lenormand, but to me it's like having like the original sin hammered into you, you know, if you were brought up in a religious family or whatever. It's, I mean, obviously it's complete nonsense, but some people believe it. So it's just like getting some sort of breakthrough there. It's like burning it all off, and whatever shame that, you know, you've had conditioned into you from a young age, and still, there's just like some sort of clearing of it. Reclaim your own power. And yet there's a, oh gosh, this feels really good. Feels really good. When this card appears, you're reminded that passion is powerful and absolutely encouraged by spirit. You are being guided by your angels to connect the powerful energy of desire at this time. If you have recently set an intention to explore your sexual side or become more sexually open, the fire of desire can burn away any old setbacks that are preventing you from expressing that part of your nature. If you are in a relationship, this card can indicate a great spiritual and sexual connection. I mean, I wasn't really getting that, but actually, I suppose the snake card could relate to that. So it could be that for some of you, that's what that will be. It's not really where my mind was going, but yeah, I can see how that can absolutely tie in with that. There we go. Sagittarius, please like, subscribe, reach out for a personal. Look after yourselves. I'll talk to you soon.